Welcome to Yoga Break. Now this is a series of short yoga sessions to do at any time in your day where you do have some kind of short break. And this one is really around yoga in the morning. So wake up yoga, sunrise yoga, first thing you do in the day yoga. You can actually do this at any time of day. In fact, it's the perfect sequence to do at any moment you get a few minutes to just have to yourself. But it's pretty special in the morning because it does warm up your whole body. It warms up all of the muscles in the front of your body and all the muscles in the back of your body. And not only that, but it really helps to start getting digestion moving, circulation moving, and it does wonders for your energy levels first thing in the morning. Now, I'm not saying give up the caffeine, but this does work as a good replacement to that because it does start to create heat, create energy, and also just some awareness and presence, and gives you the opportunity to listen to your body. It's the Sun Salutation. It's the classical Surya Namaskar. So it's a sequence of a few poses that you work through with your breath, the flow of your breath, and it does all those wonderful things I just described. So you don't need much space. So a yoga mat, the space my mat is taking up, that's all the space that you need. You don't even need a yoga mat as long as you have a floor where you're not going to slip, so don't wear socks. And that's pretty much it. So you just need to be present, have a good attitude, a smile, and a little bit of space on your floor. So let's begin. So we're going to start today in hero's pose. So sit down on your ankles. Now, if that's challenging and really sore, let's not do that. So use a cushion. If you're in your bedroom, then you're bound to have a pillow or two handy, or even some books or blocks. Just pop them, slide them in here between your thighs and your calves, and then sit back down. That just gives you a bit of height. Bring the tops of your hands onto the tops of your thighs and close your eyes. Take a long, deep inhalation. And as you exhale, just let go of everything that is ahead of you in this day. Don't think about that now. This is your time to focus on your breath, your health, your body. This is your time. Bring your hands together into the prayer position and bow your head, dropping your chin to your chest. And let's just set a really simple intention for this practice, one that you can take with you for the rest of the day, and that is to be present. So in every pose, when you hear every cue, really be present. Take that time to feel how that feels in your body. Enjoy the time that you've given yourself. Even though it's short, it is absolutely worthwhile. Raise your head, open your eyes, bring your hands down to your side, and then lift both hands high up towards your ceiling. Clasp your hands together, turn them over, and reach towards the ceiling. Bow your head, your chin down to your chest. This is Parvatasana, the mountain stretch. So really root down. And when I say root down, what that means is press your shins into your mat or into your carpet, into the blanket, whatever is making contact with the earth, press down. And then lift the very bottom of your belly up, up, up towards your chin. As you do that, that creates some length in your upper body, lengthening your side waists. Keep stretching those palms towards the ceiling. And then let go of that clasp as you exhale, bringing your hands all the way down with your palms facing outwards. And then gently lift your head. And then twist round with the back hand on the floor, the forward hand on the opposite thigh. Again, pushing down into those shins, lifting from the very bottom of your belly and twisting round, looking back over your back shoulder. Take a deep breath. As you exhale, twist very slightly more round, being careful just to make this nice and gentle. And then switching to the other side, pressing down into the shins, lifting from the bottom of your belly, looking back over that shoulder. Inhale. Exhaling, twist ever so slightly more. Now, if you've been asleep, this is your morning yoga, then hopefully your body hasn't been moving much for the last 8 hours, in which case your spine will be thanking you for this gentle twist as we start to warm it up. Now bring your legs out in front of you in Dandasana with your toes pointed towards the ceiling, hands on your mat either side of you. And now tense and release these big quadricep muscles right here at the front 9 times, making you count so early in your day. This is just resetting your knees because they've been sat in Virasana, hero's pose, for a while there. And then bring together the soles of your feet into Baddha Konasana. So here we're starting to open up the hip joints, ready for our Sun Salutation. Now the idea of Baddha Konasana is that we're really opening up the hip joints by moving the thighs or the femur bone in that direction, not down, because that can really jar in your hip joint. So we want to focus on moving them that way. So you can even use your hands to kind of move the flesh and encourage it to go in that direction. And then that frees up your hip joint a little bit so that gravity can then help to move your knees down. Then open up your feet like a book and start to give those wonderful feet that do so much work for us a little massage. So massage your toes, the toe mounds, the arches of your feet, the heels. It's not every day you get to give your feet a little massage, is it? And while you're having a little massage there with your feet, secretly, of course, we're staying like this for a while to give our hips a chance to open up a little bit. I'm going to read you a really nice passage from this book, which really explains somewhat how even a short practice, if you fully go in for it and fully give it your attention and really be present, is totally worthwhile. Several years ago, I met a woman who told me that she had begun to meditate for 5 minutes every morning. My initial reaction was judgmental. What a joke, I thought. How could 5 minutes make any difference? In truth, she had a realistic and balanced attitude about her life and her practice. She had declared her intention and she lived her commitment to meditate every day. She interpreted discipline as doing what was possible with consistency. I had interpreted it as quantity. I realised that I thought 2 hours of yoga practice indicated a disciplined life, whereas 5 minutes did not. In time, I came to realise her wisdom. Do what you can and do it fully. I just love that. So that's what we're doing. We're doing what we can, but we're going to do it fully for 20 minutes. That is from Living Your Yoga by Judith Hanson-Lassiter. I can highly recommend it. Okay, we're going to come out of Baddha Konasana, come to the top of your mat, ready to run through Surya Namaskar. Now, usually it's done with the movement of your breath, but today we will do it a little bit slower so I can really talk you through some of the key things about each pose so that you can really learn how to do it and then do it on your own every day. So standing at the top of your mat, bring your hands into the prayer position. Inhale. Exhale, bow your head. Inhale, lift your hands all the way up and slightly back, pushing your pelvis forward. Exhaling, bend your knees deeply as you bring your hands all the way down to the mat. Into Uttanasana. Let your belly make contact with the front of your thighs. Let your head hang. Now, the reason it's important to bend your knees is likely you have tight hamstrings. If that's the case, then doing Uttanasana with straight legs will really pull on your lower back, and we don't want that. Especially in the morning when you've not had any other exercise yet, you've not warmed up, important to have a nice bend in your knees. Inhale, look up. As you exhale, send your right leg all the way back. Now this is Vanarasana. Drop your right knee and uncurl your back toe so that your top of your foot is flat on your mat or your carpet. Now the first thing in Vanarasana, as we go through this sequence, is a safety point actually. Please look, where is your knee in relation to your ankle? You want your knee to be absolutely over the top of your ankle. I'll show you what not to do. Never have your knee further forward than your ankle. Over time, that will really damage your knee, and we need our knees. So always in this pose, check your knee is over your ankle. Now, to get the most out of this pose and be really present and focus on it, two things we're going to do. Move your right hip in this direction. Very slight movement. It will be a micro movement, a subtle movement, yet it will really deepen this stretch. Next, your left thigh, same direction, in this direction. Again, that will really open up the right hip here and allow a nice deep stretch. Now inhale and look up. Push your chest up and forward. Lift your chin. And as you exhale, curl your toe, lift your back knee and send that left leg back into plank pose. Have your feet together. If that hurts your lower back, do have them apart. Now lengthen between your heels and the crown of your head. And tighten all the muscles in the front of your body. Remember I said we'd be warming up the muscles in the front and the back? Well, this is warming up the ones in the front. Inhale. Exhale. Drop your knees. And then your chest and your chin slowly down. Down, down, down to the floor. And then slide your chest forward as you inhale with no weight in your hands. Use your back muscles to lift your chest in the serpent pose. Then exhaling, bow your head. And inhale, push into your hands up into Bhujangasana. Have your pinky toes touching the mat. Drop your shoulders down your back. And then on your next exhalation, curl your toes and lift from your quadriceps, lift your pelvis back and up, 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 up to downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now in downward facing dog, look at your hands. Lift your head and look at your hands. Make sure that this index finger in both hands is pointing towards 12 o'clock. And then push as though you're really trying to push the mat away or push your carpet away from you. Push, push, push. And as you push, 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 imagine that someone is pulling your legs backwards. They've put a rope around your thighs and they're pulling those thighs to the back of the room. This will move your sitting bones back. So as you're pushing your mat away and you're moving your sitting bones back, that is lengthening between your hands, all the way up to your sitting bones, lengthening your spine. And then inhaling, look up. And on your exhalation, bring that right foot forward this time. So we're in Vanarasana on the other side now. Again, safety check, knee over ankle. And then move this whole area here of your right hip in this direction. Remember, it's just that subtle movement, a small movement, and then your right thigh move in that direction. Just allowing space as we move this forwards, opening up the hip. And then inhaling, look up. And as you exhale, bring that left leg forward to meet the right, back to Uttanasana. Again, keeping that bend in the knees, letting your head hang. And then bring your hands together. And then use your quadricep muscles, which are so big and strong, to push your body all the way up. Following your gaze onto your thumbs. Hands overhead, slightly back. And then back to beginning. And then we get to do it again on the other side. Inhale. Exhale, bow your head. Inhale, lift your hands all the way up, slightly back, pelvis forward. Just small back bend. And then dropping down, bend your knees deeply, deeply, deeply down to Uttanasana. Let your belly rest on your thighs, hands flat on the floor, head heavy, head hanging low. Breathe, feel, be present. Can you feel the tightness in your hamstrings? Is that preventing you from having straight legs? Noticing that that might be an area to work on. Inhaling, lift your head. And then as you exhale, this time your left leg back. Drop the knee, uncurl the back foot. Do the safety check. Is your knee directly above your ankle? Now spending time again on this left hip. Feeling, where is it tight? It's really my favorite thing to do in the morning is just when I get to the Surya Namaskar part of my practice, it's really where I feel things start to loosen up, where I make progress. Move that hip in this direction, move your right thigh in this direction. In fact, move this whole pelvis in this direction. Just that micro, subtle movement. Inhaling, look up. And as you exhale, send your right leg back into the wonderful, but we really secretly hate it, plank. Lengthening between the crown of your head and your heels. Again, taking the opportunity to tighten and strengthen all those front muscles in your whole body. Focus on your shoulder blades. Can you move them apart? Inhale. And as you exhale, drop your knees, then your chest and your chin all the way down, slide forward. No weight in your hands as you lift your chest. Drop your head as you exhale. Then inhaling, push into your hands this time, all the way up into Bhujangasana. Check your inner elbows. They should be pointed forwards. And then lift your chin in order to drop your head back so you don't crunch your neck. On your next exhalation, curl those toes and lift your pelvis, your hips, up into downward facing dog. Again, pushing the mat. Imagining you're really, really, really trying to push that mat away. As you do that, your hips will move back. And again, imagine someone has tied, or maybe imagine someone's got a magnet and it's actually pulling. The other end of the magnet is pulling that magnet attached to the back of your thighs away from your head. Helping to stretch those hamstrings.
Really important in downward facing dog not to have an arched back in this direction. So if you think that might be happening, bend your knees and then push your hips back. That gives you the ability to lengthen your spine. And then you can try straightening your legs a little bit again. Inhaling, look up. As you exhale, bring that left leg forward for the last Vanarasana or the lunge. Checking the safety, knee over ankle. Moving that right hip forwards, the left thigh forwards. Inhaling, look up. As you exhale, bring that right leg forward to meet the left. Let your head hang. Hands on the ground. Lift your sitting bones. Bring your hands together. And then just watch your thumbs as you bring your hands all the way up. Slightly back. And back down to the center. Now, hopefully, you have some more minutes to spare, in which case I would say, lie down on your mat, lie down on your floor with your palms facing upwards towards the ceiling. Close your eyes and just feel, if you feel any different, and just lie there in Shavasana, the corpse pose where you're lying still, and enjoy those few moments. Otherwise, congratulate yourself that you have done a short practice and enjoy the rest of your day.